Dead by Daylight is massively loaded with the most brutal killers that any horror game has ever seen. While researching and creating this video, I went through all 41 killers and all 123 of their perks, and I put together the best killer build to know exactly where the survivors are at all times. It'll slow down generator progression while forcing survivors to run around, making saves and healing each other, all the while giving killers the best chance at getting that merciless 4K. The first perk I have for this build involves doing something a killer needs to do anyways, and it's an integral part of the overall success of the build, and that perk is a night perk called Nowhere to Hide. Whenever you damage a generator, Nowhere to Hide will activate and will reveal the aura of all survivors that are within 24 meters of your position for 5 seconds. This is probably my second favorite killer perk in the game. It comes in handy during every single part of the match, up until the last generator being done. So all the way up until that point, you're going to be getting a lot of value from this perk. Just think how many times you're going to kick a gen and see a survivor's aura because of it. That will probably lead to a lot of hooks. The second perk in this build is the very core of the build. It allows you to have what some survivor mains say is an overpowered perk that needs to be nerfed. This perk is owned by who I like to call the Purple Grape. And of course, I'm talking about Nemesis and his most evil perk of the 3 he has, Lethal Pursuer. I do love the fact that this perk gives you a massive value to start the game by allowing you to see all 4 survivors' auras. That's fantastic, but that only works for the start of the game. But the part of this perk I absolutely love is the fact that it extends any aura reading perk by a nice 2 seconds. Think of it as barbecue chili, but you get to use it way more often. So the value you're gonna get with this perk is gonna be instant and ongoing, especially when you pair it with a perk like, I don't know, say Nowhere to Hide. The next perk in this build creates a massive advantage for the killer that lasts throughout the game once it's activated. It's a unique perk owned by the Lich, aka Vecna, and that perk is Weave Attunement. Survivors will have their item dropped once it's depleted for the first time, but survivors can see the item's aura to go back to get it. Although once they pick it up, they'll suffer from the Oblivious status effect for a maximum of 30 seconds. So survivors won't be able to hear or be affected by the killer's tear radius. Now all of this is great, but the real reason why I added this perk to this build is because it gives the killer another way of seeing the survivor's aura. So anytime a survivor is within a 12-meter range of a dropped item, the killer gets to see exactly where they are. So if you're a stealth killer like the Wraith or the Ghostface, you're going to be getting a hell of a lot of jump scares that'll lead to more injured survivors, downs, hooks, and W's. Now for the last perk in this build. It's very detrimental in snowballing this build to its full potential, and that perk belongs to the human skin mask wearing cannibal. The perk I'm referring to is Franklin's Demise. Not as overall threatening as it used to be, but we're using it for a different reason than draining the item's charges. That reason is to make survivors drop their item as soon as they're hit, so it speeds up the secondary action of Weave Attunement, thus playing this build right into the killer's hands even faster. Plus, it also helps spread out the items a bit better on the map than if, to say, 2 survivors have toolboxes and are working on a generator and leaving them at the location where they are depleted. So whether you want to apply pressure in the early game with Lethal Pursuer, or want to knock survivors' items out of their hands with Franklin's Demise so you can see survivors' auras with Weave Attunement faster, or just want that extra jump scare factor with Hex Plaything, this build has you completely covered. So let me know in the comments, is this a build you can see yourself using? And if so, what killer do you think you could use that would be a perfect match to have the highest rate of success? And if you enjoy content on killer builds, then check out this video I made all about the 3 most deadliest killer builds you'll ever find. Also, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.